So you already have the balance of 19,000 on the LOC. You're looking at adding, say, a $20,000 chunk onto the mortgage. Your interest on this 39,000 would be 293. It won't be that high because they'll average it out. The bank will. So that makes your balance 39,293. Your income then at 9,500 would go into this line. So you'd be at 29,793. So this is income month one. Then your expenses would come back out. So this is your mortgage payment. So you're at 33. Then you're going to add your living expenses back in, which is 2802. So you're at 36. Then you would just do your chunk again of 9,500. So this is the way you're going to be taking care of getting your balance down in this line. So let's see what the actual 20,000 is going to save you by using that. You're at 26,878 into your second month here. Okay, now let's see. You have room over here. Right? Okay, so let's look and see how much interest that $20,000 chunk is going to actually save you by doing it. So let's see. So you are paying approximately $2,780 in interest right now, approximately. Then to jump a $20,000 jump from where this $20,000 is going directly into the principal of the mortgage, so you have a 633 balance, let's say, then you're making the $20,000 chunk. So let's say you're at 613,900 approximately. So with that being said, you have made a jump to August of 2026. So you've jumped 3 years and you've saved $64,800 in interest for that one chunk. Let's see how long it's going to take this to work down to see how often you can make $20,000 chunks. So if we're at 26,878 and we're going to add your mortgage payment and your living expenses back into that, so 33,463 is your new balance. So say 251 in interest. So 33,714, bringing in your 9,500 again. So this is month 3 minus. So you're at 24,214. Then we'll do it again. We're going to add in your expenses. I'm just seeing how long it's going to take you to work this down so that you can do another chunk. So that'll be 218 interest. So 31,017. Then you're going to do your 9,500 again. So this is month 4. So you're at 21,517. And we're doing it again. 65,85 expenses. Then we're going to add some interest. So 197 interest. And then we're going to do it again. So this is income 5. It looks like every 6 months you're going to be making a chunk. Because in 5 months it brought you down below the original balance you had. So one more month, I would think you would go ahead and do. Now, do you just want to stick with doing it every 6 months, doing a chunk, or do you want to see what happens if you did a $40,000 chunk and see, because it would take you a year then to bring that back down. Let's see, so you're at 25, 561, and then the 9,500. So at month 6, you're going to be at 16,061. You could keep working that down to 0. You could make another chunk now. When I work one-on-one with people, I like to give them motivation by trying to make a chunk about every 4 months onto debt. So you could make it however you want. The earlier you make the chunk onto the mortgage, the more interest you're going to save. So if you wanted to do the $40,000 chunk up front and then work it down, 6 to 8 months, and then do $10,000 chunks after that, then you're going to benefit more than making a $20,000 chunk now and then one in 6 months, just because you're hitting more interest up front. Well, let's see how much interest you're going to save compared to the 20,000 if you went ahead and did the 40 up front. Okay, so this is on a 20K chunk. Now let's do a 40K. So that would take you to approximately April of 2029. Isn't that beautiful? 2029. I know, right? And here we are older and learning, and it makes you mad. So you're saving $106,000 on interest by doing a $40,000 chunk. Because see, you're hitting the years now that the interest is going to start backing down out of your payment. So now remember, I'm saying April of 2029, but for however long it takes you to work off this 40,000, you're still making monthly mortgage payments too. So that is still adding to what's going on to your principal, because you're talking $800 to $900 towards the principal. But I mean, you're still applying, even though you've applied the big chunk. Yeah, about every 14 months, you're going to be able to make another $40,000 chunk. But remember what I said. You could work this down, the 40,000 down for 6 or 8 months and do another $10,000 chunk. You don't have to wait out the whole 14 months. That's totally your decision. Where did you say what state are you in? Arizona. I want to go to Arizona. This woman, I was talking to Arizona. I think she was my last appointment yesterday, and she's talking about how hot it had been there this summer. And I'm like, yeah, but you have blue skies every day. It's so worth it, right? Oh, I love blue sky. It's raining outside right now. That's a big debt, but at the same time, you've got a big shovel to be spooning it out. So, in using the line starting as soon as possible, like today, is how just that determines how much interest you're going to cut off, is how early you get started actually chunking onto that mortgage. So I don't know. Do you have any questions for me? I have 3 daughters myself, two that are close to 30, and they have the same nonchalant attitude that yours have. I don't know how to fix that exactly, because my daughters know. They know, they can talk to me about that at any time, and they do talk to me about it when it comes to buying a home. But doing their credit cards, my oldest one, she literally could care less. I think it's just, I don't know if it's a mindset of, well, she's making her monthly payments, that's all that matters, or that she hasn't found the value in saving that $100 or $200 a month in interest, because, kids kind of have to, we all have life happen, and it kind of grows us up, because life happens and it teaches you lessons you don't necessarily want to learn. So I think that the kids, and I call them kids if they're under 30, They just haven't had the experience yet of feeling what it might or knowing what it feels like to do without. And I think that that might be the problem with the younger generation. I think that once they get into some roadblocks, that all of that will change. I think that they will come around and be like, oh, okay, well, let's do this. So um, don't be too upset at your kids for not jumping all over it. I'm just saying that seems to be what I'm seeing happen here. I know. Well, Dave Ramsey, he literally teaches what it is that our minds want to hear because that's what we grew up under was save your money, make your payments on time, buy that home by getting a mortgage. I mean, all of that's kind of ingrained in our spirits, literally. And so when we hear a different message, um, it's like, okay, that doesn't even make sense. Why would you say something stupid like that? So you kind of, that's why I was talking to a guy earlier and he was just like, well, I just don't feel comfortable going out and getting more debt when I've already got debt. And I'm like, that's because that's the mindset is debt's bad and we have to stay away from it. But there is good debt and the bad debt are the loans. So if you can pull out of the loans and get into a line, you're going to live a much more financially free life. Oh, Chris Noggle. I was talking to him this morning. I told him we need to do another video. Exactly. That is something your kids really, really need to learn. Now, my kids, I've already set up their policies because I knew they weren't going to go out and do it themselves. So I started when they were young, but they're adults now. And so they're literally the owners of the policy, but I still make the deposits into them because they still have no idea what they're doing financially. So, you could do that as well. Have one set up on each of your children and then teach them how to use it. Chris is awesome the way he teaches that. That's why I went to him. There are many infinite banking teachers out there, but Chris is the only one I have found that really does it by our Nelson Nash's book, just like he did it. And that encourages me because this is all he used for banking. So if your kids could learn it now, they'll never get another mortgage. They'll never get another car loan because they'll be borrowing from themselves. Nice. He is very, very good at the way he teaches. I was talking to him this morning about coming back and let's do a more detailed on just infinite banking because that video was kind of just to introduce him to my crowd. Uh-huh. And he's gotten a lot of feedback from that, but I'm getting a lot of questions about, well, what is it exactly? What's the process? How does it work? And I told him, I said, you need to come back and let's do a detailed, step by step. This is how we get involved in the process, and this is how it works. keep your strategy to yourself and just do it. I wouldn't share that with too many bankers. I had actually a lady tell me last week that she went into a credit union to get a line of credit, a HELOC, and that the loan officer actually said to her, "Don't tell me you're going to be using this for velocity banking." So she said she walked out and she said, "I'm not going to be getting anything from that bank." And I said, "It's probably a good idea." You've got my email, so if you have any questions, feel free to email me and let me know. You're welcome. I agree, and I hope that I'm reaching. That's my only desire is to push it out to where at least everybody gets to hear it one time, and it plants a seed there. And if they, 10 years down the road decide to pick it up and do it, then that's fine. But if I can just get the word out there that there are other options besides living in the debt, that would be enough for me. Thank you for reaching out. Oh, I wish, right? I'm going to have to do that. Do you have an Airbnb so I can stay with you? I've got to do that. You're welcome. And I hope to hear updates that you're really doing great. Nice. And I'm going to get a schedule up for doing lives. I'm just not there yet because I don't know. I think I'm nervous. I'm not sure. Yeah. Yeah, and I've been told by other YouTubers that, your people are telling you they want to hear from you. And I'm like, well, I'm putting out videos every day. And I'm like, okay, I'll think about it. But, I just never have set up a time. I guess it kind of blows my mind that people want to hear me talk. Because it's like, okay, what do you want? I know it's amazing actually what's happened with everybody jumping on board. I'm so excited because I get testimonies every day of how good people are doing with it, and that makes me very happy for them because they're finding peace, and you can feel it when I talk to them. You can feel it, and that I feel it, and I remember what it feels like to have that joy come over you. So I'm excited for people, and I deal with so many people in the middle of a divorce right now. And when I first started doing this, I have a video on divorce and how I would love to stop it when it's coming to finances, and that's causing the rift raft. And then you start there, and it's like everything piles on top of that, and you forget why you're really mad at each other. So if we could fix that. And put the peace back into the marriage with the finances, then they can deal with everything on the outside. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I will be sending out emails to you here in just a sec. All right. Thank you. You have a great day.